right. Hey, Chief, can you check and see if we're ready?
If we're live?
Yeah. What's this? We're good? Okay. All right, welcome everybody to the Sherwood City Council meeting, February 3rd, 2026. I'll go ahead and call it into order and all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you everybody. Sylvia, roll call.
Mayor Rosner.
Here.
Council President Young.
Here.
Councilor Browse.
Here.
Councilor Stankey.
Here.
Councilor Mays.
Yep.
Councilor Scott.
Here.
Councilor Giles.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say same. Motion passes. Thank you, Council. On the consent agenda tonight, we have 3 items. Item A, approval of the January 20th, 2026 City Council meeting minutes. Item B, Resolution 2026-007, authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the sanitary sewer, stormwater, and water system master plan update. And item C, Resolution 2026-008, adopting a plan of action for control deficiencies.
I move consent. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Recording in progress.
Oh,
Start over?
did we, can you check?
The intent was there.
We got the whole thing recorded? Okay. We're good? Okay. All right. Well, on to citizen comments. Sylvia, do we have anybody sign up for citizen
I
comments?
have none, Mayor.
We have no one online, so we'll go right into the public hearing. Sylvia, you want to read us in?
The Sherwood City Council will hold a public hearing this evening to receive testimony on ordinance 2026-001, amending chapter 15.04 of the Sherwood Municipal Code to reflect the current Oregon Building Code. The public hearing this evening will be conducted as follows. Staff will present a staff report. Questions, if any, by the City Council for staff. We will then receive written testimony. We will then open the public hearing for testimony, and the time will be limited to 4 minutes per person. Any interested person may present testimony. We will then close the public hearing. No other comments will be heard from the public. Final comments by staff. Questions of staff, if any, by the council, followed by council discussion. This is the second hearing before the City Council on this item. A decision may be made by the council at the close of this hearing, or the matter may be continued to a time and date certain. If the matter is continued to a time and date certain, this is the only notice of that date you will receive. If you wish to speak, please fill out a request to speak form and submit it to the city recorder prior to the time the public hearing is open for testimony. The mayor will recognize people who wish to speak, and any comments must be addressed through the mayor. When you come forward, please state your name and place of residence for the record, as this hearing will be recorded.
All right. Thank you, Sylvia. And we have Jared Bradbury here.
Hello, good evening. Jared Bradbury, building official. So building code amendments, ordinance 2026-001. We have not had any comments or any replies, and so the staff recommends approval of the ordinance to adopt the current state building codes.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff?
Yeah, I just went, the financial impacts of this, do we know what that
There's
is?
none.
Okay.
Yep, no.
Any other questions?
I think I know the answer to this as well. What about for inspections or time to completion or building or anything? Is there any impact
No.
at all on that? Okay,
No.
that's what I thought.
Any other questions? All right, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing up. Sylvia, did we have anyone sign up to give testimony?
I do not, Mayor.
All right, and I'm just checking anyone in the audience. Last chance. I'm seeing some head shakes no. All right, we will go ahead and close the public hearing, and we'll move on to council discussion. Or if you have more questions for staff, feel free. Yes.
I'm in favor of the proposed ordinance as is.
Me too. Want to make a motion?
That would be great.
Oh, I move, instead of caption.
Recaption it, yeah.
I motion that we recaption adopt ordinance 2026-001, amending chapter 15.04 of the Sherwood Municipal Code to reflect the current Oregon Building Code.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. And Sylvia, do we need to do roll call? Yep.
Ordinance 2026-001, amending Chapter 15.04 of the Sherwood Municipal Code to reflect the current Oregon Building Code. Counselor Giles, how do you vote?
For?
Counselor Scott?
Aye.
Counselor Mays?
Aye.
Counselor Stankey?
Aye.
Counselor Browse?
Aye.
Council President Young?
Aye.
Mayor Rosner?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sylvia. Sounds like motion passed.
Motion
And we
passes.
have new ordinance. All right, with that, we will go ahead and move on to the city manager report.
Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, oh yes, thank you, Jared. Appreciate it.
Mayor and council, good evening. Just a couple quick announcements. Want to let you know the Community Enhancement Program grant is open and runs to April 15th at 5 p.m. is when applications have to be submitted. And you can find that information on the city's website. And then also I just wanted to remind you that Brookman Road is closed from yesterday until the 16th of February from Southwest Brookman Road and Oberst Road, part of the sanitary sewer project. So just a reminder. So any questions for myself or the staff that's here tonight?
Any questions for Craig?
Thank you for checking into the mysterious noise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll continue to look into it, but
I appreciate the putting the response or what you've seen, out on social media, and I too circled back with those that had asked about it. So
awesome. Thank you.
I know this isn't in city limits, but I have noticed strange sounds, and most often they come from the gun range. It seems like I can hear.
yeah, this is a different noise from
Okay.
what these ones are saying because they know what the gun range ones sound.
Okay, because I'm like, wow, that's very early on a Sunday or something that I'm hearing guns. But
It's just
anyway,
lines underneath the city. It's
I do have a question. I was driving 2 or 3 nights ago under the bridge, and I noticed the farthest arc closest to the high school was not lit up.
Oh
but
yeah,
the
there
rest
were
of it
some
was.
comments about that on social media tonight as well.
I did meet a weekly meeting with Rich this morning, and they are looking into that. So with the contractor, do you have any new information, Rich?
I just wanted to make sure it was.
Yeah, it's
someone was
another.
aware. Yep.
I'm assuming that's all under warranty?
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
I hope so.
For that
No
to be
way.
happening.
Awesome. Any other questions for city manager? No, we'll go ahead and move on to council announcements. Taylor, you want to go first?
my planning commission got canceled. I was all geared up for a long, long meeting. Dan, sorry, you can take it back. This is your last chance.
Not falling for that.
So we're looking forward to another work session on that with council first, and then I think we're having a planning commission meeting. So that's all for me. Yeah, that's it.
Renee?
I'll start with thanking the staff for a great goal-setting session. Was it last week or the week before? Thank you for that opportunity. Don't have a lot to report on. Tomorrow is the Water Consortium meeting. However, I will be in the air and will miss it. So, Rich, I think will be attending on behalf of the city. My apologies for that. And I would announce that next Tuesday, which is the 10th of February, is the next Chamber of Commerce meeting at the Senior Center. So I know the advisory boards plan on being there, and it's going to be about age-friendly city and all the things that are happening at the Senior Center. And I have a shameless kudos because my grandson,
Wrestling.
5 years old, He won, or he's in 4th place in the state of Oregon out of 60 wrestlers. He came in
Wow.
for.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
pretty proud of that little dude.
Good
That's
job,
all I have.
Tyson.
Very cool. Awesome. Mr. Mays.
Wow, thank you. Sorry, I was not properly prepared. My mic on. Thank you, Mayor. Yes, kudos to staff and the council for a very good goal setting in the PD community room. We went long, full of energy to the very end, passion by council and staff, so that was great. And I was supportive of continuing to go on. True story, despite the doubts, I was in favor of let's attack issues, let's solve problems, set goals. It's great. As I mentioned, I missed the cultural arts meeting last month because it got rescheduled the same night as council. I heard it was fabulous. So if you ever want to see a wonderful meeting, attend a future cultural arts board meeting. It was in the update from Craig about the upcoming event on Saturday at the Art Center celebrating
Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year.
2 to 5. It's always a big ton of fun. So show up if you can. Wacker 911 board met last week. CEO board. So that was fine. Things keep plowing forward. Last Thursday, Friday was LOC quarterly board meeting. Interesting meeting, interesting conversations. The mayor, of course, was there. Our outstanding vice president, first meeting as VP of the League of Oregon Cities. Got an update on interesting stuff with FEMA and floodplains. More to share depending upon what happens. Hopefully there'll be a congressional fix, but some pending rules are pretty crazy when it comes to some FEMA floodplain activity for development, even the utilities and floodplain. Very interesting. Hopefully there'll be some legislative fixes in DC. We'll see. And then we got a nice preview of the short session in Salem that's happening and potential legislation to be supportive of and to fear. So that's all I got, Mayor.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also wanted to just comment on the goal setting session Saturday before last. I think that's my 7th or 8th one now. I feel like they've continually gotten better every year. I think we've gotten more effective. I think that the staff and the facilitator have gotten more effective. So it was really nice to be able to strike a number of things off the list as completed. We didn't add too much, but we added some things. And then I think we also did some kind of deeper diving into some areas that we really need to and want to focus on this year. So it was a great session. Thank you all, everyone, for that. Parks Board met last night. In addition to the usual maintenance, I think there was 2 really good conversations around how they can be. One of the members, Steve, is out here as well. How they can be more proactive, going forward. So kind of following up on the goal setting session, conversation that we had around this. I think their Parks Board is interested in kind of helping with taking on the kind of the wayfinding thing we talked about in goal setting, right? Where we kind of have standardized wayfinding signage and what that might look like across town, and developing that program, realizing that funding will have to come down the road, but at least if you have a plan, then when you have funding, you can start executing on it. And then the second area that I think they're going to be diving into in their next meeting is to come up with kind of some quick strike, smaller projects out of the parks master plan, trail infill, connectiveness, right? So we have gaps around town that have existed forever. They're not big enough to be on the CIP list, but they might be some things that, again, as funding arises, we might be able to go for CEP grants for some of these things or other ways. So I think that the next meeting they're going to tackle kind of coming up with a list of priorities and these kind of backlog, if you will, that then they can make recommendations on as there's funding available or after a grant, here's some areas where we might be able to get some quick wins. So that was good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dan.
Okay, the Traffic Safety Board met last Thursday. The police chief spoke about the mobile red light cameras. There's pretty good discussion about that, and it seems like this Traffic Safety Board would like to help with recommendations for that for the police. I'm not sure how much those will be, used, but at least some input with what they're seeing. The other thing was we talked about the school zone crossings to give them an update of what we talked about as a council, and specifically the chair had some feedback for us as a council regarding the rapid rectangular flashing beacons versus the hybrid pedestrian beacons. I mentioned that the consensus is to kind of go with the hybrid pedestrian ones, and he feels very strongly that we should reconsider that and look more at why the RRFBs are recommended right now. So I don't know if that's an informal or formal conversation, but very strongly that he would like to speak more about that before we officially implement that into our TSP or some other.
Did they address the data? Is there data to show that the rapidly flashing red ones are more safe or less?
I don't think that they're more safe. I think that the difference between the cost is his concern is that we don't have the funding to do these, and the safety benefits of the rectangular ones. He could speak more to that than I could. We didn't really get into the details of it, but that was the cost is the biggest
To
thing.
be able to do 4 of those for the price of 1 of the other, better to have 4 than 1.
That's also why we go after grants.
Exactly. So just wanted to pass that along.
Or
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, make sure we're making the right decision. Library board met last week as well. They're looking for additional direction from the council here. I think we talked about this a little bit in the goal session, that we have these volunteers, amazing volunteers on these boards who are on these boards for a specific reason. They're not picking a board that they don't want to be on. And so if we can empower them to be doing these things that maybe our staff, isn't able to. And so as a council, really want to push for additional guidance from us to these boards to empower them.
Should we schedule a joint session with them? Thoughts?
I think that'd be great. Yeah.
I think we mentioned this at goal setting.
Yeah.
That we should have a joint session with all of our boards, because I know Parks felt the same way. They want direction from us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will work with Craig and we'll get that on the schedule for this year.
Okay.
All
And
boards.
then the other thing from the library is that there's a Sherwood Seed Share, February 22nd. The library is partnering with the Sherwood Plant Group to offer seed sharing. And if you don't have seeds, not a problem. There'll be plenty of seeds to go around. But good opportunity to connect with people who are growing food. I know that, things are a little bit different now, and growing food might be a good option for people here in Sherwood.
Awesome. Took me a second, but I figured out what you're saying.
Yes, and not just food, the plants as well. And then I just want to speak again to the current events going on in our country. I think every country should have some form of immigration enforcement, but what is happening currently right now this isn't normal. And our community deserves to know that constitutional protections apply to all people of Sherwood, citizens and non-citizens alike. The Fourth Amendment protects every resident from unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fifth and 14th Amendments guarantee due process for every person physically in the U.S. And the First Amendment ensures that we can speak, assemble, and record public officials without fear. Recent federal operations demonstrate a troubling pattern: warrantless arrests, racial profiling based on language or appearance, denial of due process hearings, and even violent force against citizens. These practices reveal consistent violations of rights our Constitution explicitly protects. Our government has declared that there's a group of people that no longer deserves these rights. And it seems like from day to day, anybody can be in this group. And if one group does not have these rights, no group has these rights. I'm not asking you to agree with everything I'm saying tonight, but if you agree with anything, if even one part of what I'm speaking strikes you as wrong, unjust, or simply not the kind of community we want to be, then please speak up. Please talk to your neighbors, share this information. Silence is how rights are lost. Awareness is how communities stay safe, informed, and united. Thank you.
Thank you. Council President.
Same goal setting, kudos. It was a great all-day Saturday. Really appreciate that. I spent last Thursday all day Thursday in Hillsborough at the Washington County Public Services Building, listening to grant applicants for CDBG grants, home grants, public services, infrastructure. And we were there a much longer day than normal, and that just means there's that many more grant applicants, especially in the public services sector with people, with nonprofits that are trying to serve people who need rent assistance, utility assistance, helping our youth, homeless youth, which is fast growing more than even adults, helping people with mental health services. Yeah, it just, the list, and unfortunately, when it all comes out, there will not be enough money to fund all of these organizations. So that's where the committee comes in, and we all do our own individual scoring to see who we can give. These are federal funds, which come with the federal rules on who is eligible to use the funds, but they do help a lot of people. So that's always a good day, and that's on that board is one member from every city in Washington County and a member of the Washington County Board of Commissioners. So it's quite a group of us that get together and do that. And then last night was Region 1 Area Commission on Transportation Board. Always lots of conversations about ODOT and priorities, and working to get 3 to 5 priorities into the 10-year plan from our region. So, and then on the fun side, I got to not last Thursday, the Thursday before, get to be a judge for Sherwood High School's Broadway Bits. And it just never ceases to amaze me, the talent that we have in our community. These high schoolers, they choose their own Broadway musical bit, they rehearse it, they do all their own props, their own costumes, and it's solos, duets, groups, and then there's judges, and there's awards given out for, best costume, best choreography, best solo. But anyways, just always a fun night, and that's the Sherwood High School choir, one of their biggest fundraisers. So I just love being part of that. My daughter was part of the choir group, so it was fun to kind of get back. She's been graduated for 10 years now, so it was kind of fun to get back in the high school.
Awesome, thank you. I've just a couple things. The legislative session has started as of Monday down in Salem, so that will be consuming a lot of my time, not only supporting and representing Sherwood down there, making sure our rights aren't being impinged on by the state as a city. So I have my hat as MMC, Metropolitan Mayors Consortium. I'll be down there on Thursday with some of the mayors from the metro region lobbying on behalf of cities as well. So it's going to be an interesting session with the transportation challenges. So get your popcorn and hold on. I would also like, just as a reminder, just on top of what Dan just talked about, for those in our community that are feeling like they're impacted by immigration enforcement, go to our website. There's information there so you can understand your rights and understand how to proactively protect yourself and be in a good spot. There's a lot of good information. It also talks about how to identify our police officers versus federal officers, because our police officers are here to help you. They're here to make sure you're safe, and we want you to feel comfortable calling them if you need assistance. So that's really, really important. So there's really good information on the website. I encourage you to go there. And then on the, don't we have a police foundation function coming up?
Yep.
Awards dinner on Friday.
Well, that's a internal thing, but Friday night is our police awards banquet that our police holds to honor or recognize officers who this past year have gone over and beyond, or whatever the particular award would be. So that's always a fun event.
Yeah.
And then Police Foundation on May 15th is having their Boots and Bling Gala.
Yeah, thought you'd want to get a plug in for all that. So, and then on the fun side too, for those of you who know, the Sherwood Education Foundation that used to do the Sip and Spell, a celebrities.
Used to do.
Well, stand by, it gets better.
Hold on.
And we are changing it up this year, and it is a Sip and Sing.
Wow.
Yes, and That group does an amazing job of raising money for the Sherwood Education Foundation, which helps our teachers and our kids out in the community. So they got celebrity singers.
They didn't even invite me to sing. They invited me to spell one year, but they guess they don't want me singing up there.
So that should be a lot of fun. So with
Is anyone on this dais a celebrity singer?
not that I know of.
I feel like,
I leave the singing to my daughter.
doesn't that need to be part of the reveal of the night, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just not in the
Yes.
know.
I think the Masked Singer. That's going to be the format. So yeah, it should be pretty entertaining. Anyways, unless there's anything else for the good of the order,
More meetings.
I'll go ahead and close this meeting, and we will jump right into our URA board meeting. So with that, I'm going to call the URA board meeting to order, February 3rd, 2026. Sylvia, roll call.
Chair Rosner,
Here.
Vice Chair Young,
Here.
Member Browse,
Here.
Member Stankey,
Here.
Member Mays,
Here.
Member Scott,
Here.
Member Giles.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We have a very exciting agenda today. We have 3 consent items to approve, and that's it. So
We need to take anything off consent and talk about it for a while?
would anyone like to take anything off consent?
No, because we have another work session and 2 exec sessions.
All right, so we have 3 items on the consent agenda: approval of the June 24th, 2025 URA board meeting minutes, approval of the November 4th, 2025 URA board meeting minutes, and URA resolution 2026-001, adopting a plan of action for controlled efficiencies. All pretty standard stuff.
I move consent.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say same. Motion passes. Thank you, council. Do we have any citizen comments?
I do not.
All right. Same as aye. That's how that works. In case you're
Supposed to
wondering,
say nay?
you can say nay. Well,
Or same?
It would seem weird to say aye if I'm voting no.
it is a weird thing, but
Voted in the affirmative for no.
I think it's the timing that matters more than anything else. I didn't like it. Anyways, any citizen comments, Sylvia?
I do not. No.
All right. With that, we are adjourned. We'll be going